Hi programmers, hope you are doing great. So in this video we'll see that how we can work with containers, especially with MongoDB container and Node.js container, and we'll try running those containers together using Docker. And then we'll see that how we can let them communicate with each other to transfer the data. So first we will create MongoDB Docker container. We'll try pulling that image from Docker Hub from here. And then we'll try running it, we'll seed some data into it, and then we'll try doing some R&D on that one. Then we'll try creating a simple Express server, and there we'll try connecting that one with, let's say, Mongo's or something like that, the driver with MongoDB. Once everything is connected, we'll Dockerize the Mongo and the Express.js together, and we'll try launching both with Docker Compose. So what you will be learning over here is that how you can work with Docker containerization for containerizing your application of Node.js and MongoDB all together. And you will also understand that how to use Docker Compose. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so what you have to do in the prerequisite is that first of all you need to install Node.js. For new guys, just go on this particular website and then just download it and install the latest version. Secondly, if you haven't installed Docker, you need to install Docker based on your Windows preferences, whatever you have. If you have Linux or something like that, you just need to follow those instructions. I'm going to put this link in the description below. And finally, you have to go to Docker Hub over there and just type Mongo and see what image you have. So you can see that I have Mongo image over there. So why I'm calling this one as an image? There are multiple terminologies or keywords you need to understand when you are working with Docker. So what is image? I'll just quickly tell you. So image is nothing but a template, just like a blank template, which tells what instructions you need to follow to create container. Using particular image, we will create container in our local machine. After installing this particular Docker, we are telling, hey Docker, can you pull the MongoDB image? So once we hit this particular command, we will get that Docker up and running in our local machine. So why to wait? Just copy this one, go back in the terminal, whatever the terminal you have. So I used Cursor AI because I find Cursor AI more productive as compared to VS Code because it has the inbuilt AI capabilities. It is same like VS Code, nothing fancy. So I'll just quickly paste that one. Now it is pulling that image. It is saying that Cursor would like to access your data from the other app. That's fine. Let's pull it. Okay, so it is telling that the daemon is not running. So what you have to do is just run Docker desktop. So once you install this one, it will install Docker desktop in your machine. So that will look up something like this one. So I previously installed this one. I'll just quickly delete this. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how that thing gonna look like. All right, so we got that one right. So now over here, I'm going to go back and run this one more time. So it is what it is doing now. So as soon as I hit this Docker pull Mongo, it will, this particular Docker which we install in our local machine, it will be pulling this Docker Mongo image from this Docker Hub, okay, from this Docker Hub. And this, as soon as the instruction we got inside this Docker, it will be creating that image in our local machine. So where we can see that one, we can see that one over there. How to confirm that we got that image? So what you can do is that you have three options over here. So I'll give you three options that how to use Docker properly so that you'll be having good productivity while you're working with Dockers. Okay. So first of all, definitely on the UI itself. So as soon as you run that application, it will be pulling that one, and you can see that you got that Mongo and the tag is latest and the image is something like this one, that the random image will be created. Now on the left hand side, you need to work around three most important features, I would say. First of all, the image. So first we got this image, right? Now based on this image, I'll be telling that Docker build or Docker run. So what it will be doing, it will be taking this image, Docker build Mongo. I will ask something like that to Docker. So what it will be doing, it will be taking this image and build, it will build a container. what is volume. So those are the three main important aspects. You need to understand what are those things. Second point is that you can type Docker images over here. If you hit enter, you can see that whatever the images you have, you can see that list of images. You can pull it over here and see that one there. Okay, that's fine. Let me quickly clear this one. Now the third option will be like in your VS Code, you just need to go to extension and type Docker, and you can see over there here type Docker, and you can see that Docker extension. You need to install this one. Okay, as soon as you installed that one, you just need to go to that Docker stuff here. You can see that the Mongo, this one, you can see that the Mongo image has been pulled over there. So why it is telling that 20 days ago? Because I pulled that image 20 days ago and that image was already there in my machine. That's why it was referencing to that one. Okay, so before jumping to the next command, I just want to tell you one more point is that as soon as I hit Docker pull, it will go to Docker Hub, okay, and then pull that image and create over here. But the thing is that before doing that one, it will first check whether the system had that image or not. If not, then only it will go to Docker Hub. So that's how the program execution flow work behind the scene. Okay, so you understood that one, right? Now let's see how to run Docker to make this Docker container, to convert this image to a container. Okay, so what all you have to do is that same command. You can just type Docker PS to see that if there any container is running or not. So you see there is no container, so that is like processes. It will tell that any process is running, nothing, no port is running. Okay, now you have to run like a command called Docker run -d, which is nothing but in detach mode -- name, and then give a name of a Docker container, any name. Like, so I'll just give a name called my Mongo, and you need to assign that which port that container should run on, because this particular machine will be having multiple containers, right? So you need to access that one. So 27017 is the default port. So this port belong to container. I'll be exporting that one to 27017, like that one. Okay, and then I'll be telling that, hey, I want you to run this command, but which image should you take? You should take the Mongo image. Okay, so as soon as you run this one, let me hit it. I got this one over there. Okay, now what I'll be doing is that what if I don't run this previous command like Docker pull Mongo, if we didn't run this particular command? Okay, so if I don't run that one and directly run this particular command, let me quickly go and copy this one. So copy, paste, run it. First of all, it is checking that whether that MongoDB image is available in our local machine. No, it's not. It is checking that whether that image is available, which means that it is pulling that image first in our local machine, and then as soon as that image got pulled, it will run that container over there. Next, what you have to do is that you just need to expand the container and then right click this one and then select the inspect element, and it will show you that the state over there, that the state is running on. The most important point is that you just need to find a capital host, something like this one, and then you will just find the host name. So this is like most important part, which will be used for connecting the Docker containers with host name. Don't worry, I'm gonna rename this one with one particular command called -host name or host, something like that, to change this one. That will be coming later in this video. Alright, so we got this container running, but the thing is that I want to go inside this container just like a UI. So what all you have to do is, again, you have to go to the extensions and then just go and install the extension called MongoDB, and then click add connection and click connect. Over there, you just need to type MongoDB :localhost, because we are running that one on the localhost :27017. We ran that one, this particular port number locally. So if I try hitting this one, see, this one got connected. And that's how, it is saying that all set, ready to start. You can create your playground, whatever we want, and then we can test it like that. So this is like MongoDB. I would say the connector is really powerful over there. The extension is very powerful. Now you can go over here and then create a cluster from MongoDB Atlas. Definitely I'm going to give you a demo on this particular thing in this video, that is like how to connect to MongoDB Atlas and then connect that one to the Mongo Express.js or something like that. Okay, but I'll just keep everything simple. The second point is that you don't want to connect or don't want to go from there. So what you can do, you can go inside that Docker, calling a Docker execute command -it my Docker. So first of all, like, you need to check that whether, like, how many Docker you are running. So you can see that you are running just one Docker and the Docker name is my Mongo. Okay, so what you have to do is that if you want to go inside, you can go execute and then -it and type my Mongo, and with Mongoose you can go inside like that. Okay, so you can test whatever the application you want to test inside this one. Okay. Alright, once you are here, you can just add any question, whatever you want, something like that. You can ask show DBs or show databases. I would just ask like this one. So I don't have anything over there, but I have the recommended one which was already there, admin, config and local one. Now let me quickly go and clear this one actually. Can you show any collections I have? So I don't have any collection right there. So what I'll be doing is that I'll be creating db.create collection, like this particular command, and I'll be creating a collection called user, something like this one. If I hit it, it is telling that is done. Okay, now as soon as I run this one, it created a new database over there and then created a users collection over here. And then you can see that it doesn't have any user collections over there. Now, let me quickly go and ask, first of all, how many DBs we have. We have those many DBs. Now, let me quickly go and create multiple user, like db.users, insert one. And then I'll be adding over here is something like this one. So I have already a query over here, so I'll just quickly paste it so that you will understand what I mean by that. Okay, so if I hit it, okay, it is saying that it is acknowledging like we got true and those two IDs were created. Now if I go and just refresh this, and then you can see that we got the 3 IDs added there. So if I open this one, you can see the ID 1, ID 2 and ID 3. Those 3 are being added over there. Now how you can read that one, you can read something like db.dbusers.find to get all find queries. That's how you can get those things. You want to have in a proper pretty format, you can just type pretty format and then you will get everything in a proper format or something like that one. Okay, so same thing, you can perform all your querying language. That, for example, you want to find db.users.find1, and then over here you can get any one with a name, I don't know, name of Alice. I think we have had, if I hit it, yes, we have Alice, something like this one. So that's how you can get that one. Same thing if you want to update something, so you can go and find, instead of find one, you can update anyone with passing that whatever the like name, you can pass it something like this. But you can set it with, like, inside this one, $symbol and set, and inside this one you are setting that whatever you want to set. So if I hit enter, so it is saying that update one not found. So just why it is telling update is not a function, so something went wrong. Let me quickly format it properly, something like this, and then see this one. So DB users, I found something like that, and instead of capital U, I just have to have the camel case one. And yeah, that got updated. And as you can see now, if I read it one more time, see, this one has been updated. Okay, so that's how you can read and perform all the CRUD operation, and same thing, you can delete those things. Now you can see that you are already inside this Docker terminal, which is connected to this one. So you can just type exit and it will take you back to the console. See, this one has come to the bash. Okay, so now if everything is done and you think that everything is working fine, you are good to go, and you just need to stop it, you just type docker stop, and you just need to type your container name, docker stop mongo. So you can refer it from here, this one mongo, my mongo I would say, because my mongo was the name of the container. So if you hit enter, so it is saying that was stop. See over there, now that is just stop. You can go back and then tell okay, you can start it, and that will be started there. So that's how you can start and stop. But you want to completely remove that one. How you can remove that is that first you need to stop it, docker rm-f to remove it, and then just type docker mongo and hit it, and it will be removed. That container will be killed from here. Now if you want to remove this image as well, so you can type remove image rmi and mongo, hit it enter, so it will be removed over there. Okay, so that's how guys you can work with MongoDB Docker container to run this. So this was the foundation, but I'm gonna tell you that how you can use this one more efficiently with the Node.js application. So what I'll be doing is that I'll go back and try quickly creating a good project structure, which will be having MongoDB and Express server, both are there. And that simplest Express server, first I will create the Express server with a health check or something like that. Then we'll try connecting that one to MongoDB Docker container, and we'll see that how we can utilize or how we can Dockerize the Express.js with Docker, and we'll try launching both applications with Docker. So let's get started. Alright, let me quickly go back over there and try creating a simple project of Express, and we'll try running that one first. Let me quickly go and run this command. So what I did was I just ran mkdir, created this project structure. Inside that one, I just went inside and then ran npm init and installed whatever dependencies I wanted to have. For example, I wanted to have a dependency like Express I wanted to have. So I just install Express, nothing fancy. Okay, so we got Express. Let me stop it. Now, what I'll be doing is going inside this one and adding a server, create servers.js. Now I'll just quickly go and add two routes over here, right? So first route I'll be adding is that the route which is something like this one, which will be returning us, instead of that hello world, it will be returning as a JSON object with the message. Instead of message, it will be returning status of success. Okay, so let me quickly go and welcome to the API. Let me add that one. That's fine. Now I'll be adding one more point over here, is that I'll just add a health check endpoint. So that health check will be telling that everything is running fine or not. So I will put a healthy status over there, and it is telling that server is running fine or something like this one. Okay, now if I go and run this one, telling that npm start, so it will be running on this one. Let me quickly go on the local host. Let me grab this and run localhost 3000. Yes, we got that one there. Now if I go and check health, yes, server is healthy. That's fine. Perfect. Now let me show you that how to Dockerize this application, that Node.js application. So you might have remember that I've already told you that whatever the image you want, you can go to the MongoDB and then Docker Hub, and then ask or check that whatever the image you want. So I can just type Express because we are creating an Express application. See, we have Mongo Express over here. So we can use that one, or we can just type like a simplest thing. So see this one, like 100 million user being using that one. So I'll just quickly use this particular Mongo Express the image to work with the MongoDB and Express containers like that. Before that, let me quickly go and install npm nodemon So it will be running in the behind the scene. So I'll go here and just type, yep, that's all I wanted, so that it will run like npm run dev. So that will be running on the background scene like that. So if I go and refresh this one, so if you're new guys, what I did was I just ran nodemon, so I don't have to stop and start server every time whenever I change some file or something like that. For instance, if I'm adding this one, I don't have to rerun this server. It will be rerunning because that is tracking all our application like that. So if we are working on development mode, we mostly use this kind of scenario, telling that npm run dev. All right, let's dockerize this application. Before running this application, which is something different, I would say this is like a combination of multiple features, which I'll be telling you later on, to keep it simple and give you a foundation that how to dockerize your Mongo or Express individually. This is the video, this is the section. If you already knew about this one, you can skip this one and then jump to the next part, but I would highly recommend watch this one so that you will have a clear understanding what you're trying to build. Okay, now over there, like what all you have to do is that on the root folder of this one, go over there and then type docker file. So as soon as you write this one, see the logo got changed. So the naming convention should be like capital D and small f, docker file. So this one will be tracked by Docker as soon as I am running that file. Okay, so what you have to do over here is that you have to use over here called node. So if you type node here, see this one, 1 billion user are being using this one. So see, updated just 2 hours before. So you just need to pull this one. So now instead of pulling that image every time, I'll be giving a template to Docker, which is called Docker file. So what is the template? I'll be telling that, hey, from Docker Hub, can you pull Docker Alpine? So what is Alpine? Alpine is a version, like the lightest version. Whatever the versions we want, we can use from here. So that is one of the lightest version you can use. If you want a heavy version, just take that off Alpine and then you can use. Okay. Now the second thing is that what you are trying to do over here is that you are giving an instruction to Docker, telling that based on this instruction, you need to create a container. What kind of container? Node.js container. That's it. Now inside that container, you need to create a working directory called app, which means like inside that Docker container, you need to create an app folder. Keep it simple. Now, once everything is done, what you have to do is that you have to copy all packages .json file, all like everything. Then once everything is done, you need to rerun the application, that npm run install. So it will be installing all the dependency. Once everything installed, you are copying the existing application into the working directory like that. Once everything is done, you just need to expose that one to 3000 and just hit this command, that is npm start. So once you run that npm start, that server is up and running. So I'll quickly stop the server which I ran locally, which is this one. Now what you have to do, you have to type docker build and -t, which is like a tag you are attaching. Let me quickly go and show you that whether we have any Docker running. No, we don't have any Docker running. Let me go back over here and see. You see we don't have any Docker running. Now I'll be going over here and typing like docker build -t, and then I'll be adding like my Express app, and then I'll go and just type dot over here. So why I'm adding dot over here is telling that I'm telling Docker I have a Docker file in my root directory, where you need to you go and just check that file, the instruction, and try to build this Express and try to build that container and give that container name as a -t. So if I hold enter, so it is telling that no, you don't have Node.js image available. So we pulled this image name called node, which we already got over here. Now we got that one right. Next command you can do is that docker over here, you just need to type run -d, which means like in detached mode. I'll just quickly show you that what is the meaning of that one. -name, and then over here you have to type Express container, because you are giving a container name, that is a whatever the content, whatever the image you will be using, this image you will be using, you will be giving a name of that container, which is like Express container -p, and now again you have to export a port. So that port was, we were running that one, the server was running on port 3000. So this server port we are exporting to this 3000. Okay, so you have to read from right to left, okay, like that one. Once everything is done, now what you have to do is that just type what image you want to use. So I want to use this image, okay, so which image we already pulled -. So if I hit enter now, see this one, it is saying that those things are running over there, and see, I can't go back and then work around this one. I need to open a new terminal. That's the reason what I did was I added -d over here, like this one. So let me quickly go and open this and then remove this container. That's fine. And then if I run this one, see, that will be running in the detached mode, and I got my terminal up over here, and that's for the detached mode. Okay. All right, now you can hit some commands saying that over here, like curl http :/localhost 3000, and hit it. See, this one is coming from the Docker, itself. So that's how you can see that, or run the application which is telling that Docker is running or not, right? Again, same thing, you can check like health, which is telling that Docker is running on that health. The API is running fine as well. Now again, same like lastly is that you can stop Docker stop Express container, which we already ran that one. So Express container, let me stop this. So that will be stopped. Express container is being stopped. So if I go and check Docker PS, I don't have anything running like that. Okay, so that's pretty much it to Dockerize your application. But the thing is that still I haven't connected this one to the MongoDB database. So how to connect that one? Now to connect that one, I need to use like Mongo image, right? So how to use that one over here? Now I can have just one file in my one project structure called Docker to run Express, right? But I'm pulling one more image, so I'll be having two Docker containers. So how to manage that one? To manage multiple containers, we use a Docker Compose. Now I'll show you that to how I will tell Docker to use this Docker file to Dockerize Express.js and use Docker Compose to launch MongoDB container and attach all together to run the entire web application or the backend. Okay, so let's get started. All right, let's get started. So over here on the same project, at the Docker file where the Docker file is, we need to type docker-compose.yml. So we can read that one as a YAML file. Now over here, what I'll be adding is that some instructions. So what is Docker Compose? Docker Compose is nothing but an orchestration tool which manages multiple containers. So what is the meaning of that one? So you got multiple containers, you can manage using Docker. Keep it Docker Compose, keep it simple. That's it, nothing fancy. So how to do that one? So there is some different commands, but I'll tell you that how to read this one carefully. Okay, so just type version 3, that's fine. Okay, so you need to attach multiple services. So that services is a predefined keyword, you can't use that one. Inside that one, you have to come and tab, and over here you can just type MongoDB. Okay, so you are giving a container name called MongoDB, and you will be telling that, hey, you need to use Mongo as an image name. Don't worry about this one, I'll tell you that what are all those things. Okay, so once everything is done is okay, you are telling that, hey, can you create MongoDB container service? You need to use an image of Mongo, like Docker image, which means like you need to go to Docker Hub and then pull that Mongo, which we already saw that one, right? Mongo image from Docker Hub and export that port from 27017. So whenever I go, I can use that port number to access this MongoDB container in my local machine like that. All good. Now what we have is the second point is that we can connect, we can pass the authentication like username and password, like admin and password, right? Because the database must contain the username and password. So that's what we can pass it over here, and then we can attach volume. So if you want to persist the data, we have to use like volumes over there. Now it will be creating Mongo data volume, and that will be attached over here. So that's the thing I wanted to show you guys in the Docker over here, like containers, images and everything. So that is the fun part. Now quickly let me go and just quickly delete those things which I don't want to. Okay, so let me quickly delete this one as well. Actually I just need to stop the container first and then quickly delete this and then delete this one as well. Okay, so everything is neat and clean. Now if I go back over here, if I go here and check Docker, I don't have anything running. Okay, cool, perfect. Now if I run this one, it will launch the Mongo. But the thing is that, as I was telling, that Docker Compose is useful for launching multiple containers. So below that one, I'll be telling that inside these services in the same go over here, I'll be adding like Express, not app, API, but app. Okay, Express app. So what we got over here? So I'll be telling that, hey, you need to build the Docker file on the root folder. So it will be taking this Docker file. Now you got my point. And inside the Docker file, all the all our application project structure is presented over here, right? So we are copying each and everything from this one. We are copying like dot to this current folder, which means like app directory, and that's how it is mapping. So entire project structure will be going to the Docker container, and that Docker file will be assigned inside this Docker Compose services, one of the services to run it. Okay, so we are telling that one you need to build it. Now you need to export that port to 3000. We got that one. Again, I'm giving the same environment variable, but the thing is that instead of giving the environment variables, what I'll be doing is that I'll be giving like most important point is that depends on. So you need to add depends on over here, which means, what is the meaning of that depends on? Okay, so depends on in the sense like, as soon as this particular application runs, it will check whether this depends on service is up and or not. So MongoDB, this service, it will first go and launch this service first. If this service is available up and running, then only it will create the next service, which makes sense, right? First we need to have a database, then the server, right? So that's how the depends on is really important. Then finally you can attach environment with I would say here I'm gonna add Mongo, not initial URL, but Mongo URL, and then type username and password. So see this one, MongoDB admin password, which I added like admin password here, admin and password, which I added there, and then using this one. Now finally you need to attach a volume, and that volume which is nothing but a MongoDB volume, which will be assigned over here. All right, so everything is done. Perfect. Okay, so this is how you can launch multiple services, but how to run this one? Okay, so you can run this one with a command called Docker Compose. Okay, but the thing is that you need to install this Docker Compose. So you just need to Google it, Docker Compose installation, and just go over here and follow those instructions on Windows, Linux, everything, and then you just need to install that one. Okay, so Docker Compose up. So instead of running just Docker Compose up, I'll be adding -d. And before running that one, let me quickly go here and open this one. I don't have any containers running, nor image. Let me quickly go and hit it. So it is saying that Docker Compose not being found. So let me quickly go and install with you. Alright, so what you have to do is that you have to run Docker, not dash. You just need to change with that Docker Compose up -d. If you run this one, first it is pulling that MongoDB image. Why? Because we are telling that, hey, Express is dependent on that MongoDB. That's why it is pulling that MongoDB image. Once everything is running, then we'll see that we'll be pulling the Express, which is that node image, and we'll try to see that how we can connect those things.